police warning homeowners of possible scams following the severe weather this weekend, saying to keep an eye out for roofing and tree contractors going door to door. 12 News reporter Rachel Hallam breaking down what you need to know so you don't fall for it.
Homeowners cleaning up after weekend storms now facing an additional challenge this week, avoiding scammers. It's something the Newton Police Department is now warning people about on Facebook. But for some local contractors in the industry, this unfortunately isn't new.
But you do have some amongst the industry that will try to get that first check out of the homeowner after the insurance, or try to capitalize on a catastrophe.
Phillips with Shield Roofing in Newton says they intentionally don't go door to door and hope this opens the eyes of his community to the scammers around them.
People that poach on the vulnerable or the elderly people, those people might not be informed, and when you have a door knocker that just kind of goes around and says that they'll do something for you, but they're just there for the money, it's not a good look.
The Better Business Bureau says they see scams like this when scammers pose as real contractors, often scamming people attempting to fix their house right away.
What we see time and time again is after storm damage, you have contractors, some legitimate, some not, who swoop into impacted areas to provide services or not.
Now, should you encounter tree or roofing contractors at your door, local roofers and Newton Police have some tips to ensure your safety.
Definitely check them out, look at reviews on Facebook, make sure they're licensed, insured, but reach out to somebody that you trust that has already had work done and see how their experience was.
In Newton, Rachel Hallam, 12 News.
If you'd like to make sure the contractors you hire to repair your home are insured and licensed, you can contact City Hall or the Better Business Bureau. You can find all of that information on the 12 News app or also our website, kwch.com.